For today's video, we are going to be talking about my June TBR. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Fallon. I am 34 years old and I make bookish content here on YouTube. Like I said in the beginning, today's video is going to be my June TBR, which is the books that I plan to try to read in June. Now, I don't normally do this. I don't normally sort of set these like rigid guidelines of like what books I plan to read. I'm more of a sort of wing it kind of person. I'm more of a like, oh, this book looks good, let me pick that one up and then move on over to this one. Because I am a mood reader. And the problem with that though is that I tend to get burned out very, very easily. I'm trying to do something different with June. I have a list of 5 books that I'd like to try to read. Whether or not I get through all of them or any of them is a whole other thing. But for right now, this is what I've got going. I have 5 books that I want to talk about and that I want to try to read in June. 4 of them are physical books and then 1 of them is on Kindle Unlimited. So the first book that I would like to read is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This book has been all over my For You page on TikTok, all over here on YouTube. It looks really good and I've heard that it's really sad. It is basically about 2 people, Emma and Justin, who are cursed, or they feel like they're cursed. Every time they date somebody, when them and that person break up, that person then goes on to find their soulmate. So the idea is that they're gonna get together and when they break up, they should, in theory, find their soulmate. But of course, a bunch of other things are gonna happen and I am very, very excited. I really can't wait to sort of dive into this. I've heard that it's like heartbreaking and I read like the first couple words or the first couple sentences and it looks really good. So I'm very, very excited about Just for the Summer. The next book is One Day by David Nichols. Now I have seen the TV show in its entirety and I cried. I cried very hard. I've had this book for a couple months now and I bought it immediately after finishing the show and the goal was like, I'm gonna read this right now. I want this book. It's so good. And then I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I don't know if I wasn't ready for the heartbreak or what, but it does feel like it would be a good summer read and I really, really, really want to read it. It's been sitting on my shelf and it's like, you know what, it's time. So I really can't wait to get to it. If you've seen the show, then you know what it's about. Dexter and Emma both graduate in 1988 and from there, they sort of, it's funny because they go to the same college, but they don't really meet each other until the end of that. And from there, they sort of keep in touch. They go on vacation together. They each have different significant others. They lead their own lives, but like, it isn't until, you know, many, many years in that they sort of like come together. And it's so heartbreaking, at least the show was. So I'm sure this is gonna be even more heartbreaking. I'm going for heartbreak this June, I guess. I don't know. The next book is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This book has been sitting on my shelf for at least over a year, for sure. I think I bought it last summer, if I'm being very honest with you. And for whatever reason, I just haven't read it yet. And so now I'm like, you know what? It's gonna be June. 7 days in June, we're gonna read this. Essentially, this is about 2 people who dated when they were younger or had like a night of passion when they were younger and now they have found their way back into each other's lives and they sort of have like a moment over 7 days and I'm very excited to see where else it goes. I've seen good reviews about this, but for whatever reason I don't want to be spoiled, you know, like things like One Day and Just for the Summer, it's hard not to get spoiled for those for whatever reason, especially One Day. I've already seen the show. But for this, I haven't seen any spoilers, and so I'm going in pretty blind, but I'm very, very excited. Again, I've heard that it's heartbreaking and sultry and really, really good, and I can't wait to read it. And yeah, I just can't wait. The last of the physical books I'll be reading, or hopefully reading, is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I admittedly went on a little bit of an Emily Henry kick this past May. I read Funny Story, People We Meet on Vacation, and I am like this close to being done with beach read. All that's left after this would be Book Lovers. This book was the least recommended though. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about this book. It's sort of a exes to lovers, fake dating situation. And I love all of that. So I figured I'm gonna read it. I have the physical copy. I'm just gonna read it. It's a bright cover. It's got a summery vibe. I think it would be perfect for June. Now, I will say, I may have overdone it on the Emily Henry. So this will be kind of last in my possible reads, and that's okay. But yeah, I am very, very excited to get to this. And then a book that I'll be reading on Kindle Unlimited is Mary Jane by Jessica Anya Blau, and I'm probably saying that wrong. I did start this book many, many moons ago. I started it, and for whatever reason, I think I got distracted, or I don't know, I didn't continue reading it, but it does look really good. It basically takes place in the summertime. A 14-year-old girl she starts nannying for this doctor. And throughout this time, this doctor moves in this rock star and his wife with the ultimate goal of helping them dry out or get clean. And it seems like it's just like a summer of a lot of things happening, and she learns a lot of things, and it looks like a really good read. And I've wanted to read it for a while. So I'm excited that it's on Kindle Unlimited, and I'm gonna get the option or the chance to finally read it. So that is my June TBR. It's not very long, and I can't guarantee that I'm actually going to get to all of these books or even one of them. But like I said, I'm trying something different. I'm trying to be a little more purposeful with the books that I am choosing. A little, not so winging it, because that tends to get me feeling a little bit burned out, which is sort of what happened with the other Emily Henry books, was that I read one and then I read another and then I read another one. And it sometimes ends up being too much. And if I'm a little bit more purposeful, if I go, you know what, these are the books on my list, I'm only gonna read from these, maybe I won't burn myself out reading. We'll see. So this is the goal. These are what I hope to read this June, at least one or two of them at least. If you like this video, if you want to see more content like this from me, then please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share this video, comment down below the books that you are hoping to read this June, or if you've read any of these and you want to give me your thoughts and opinions on them, I would love that. And as always, thank you for watching, and please come back. My name is the books that I plan to read for June.